All right. Good afternoon. My name is Josh Harden. This will be my 30-minute presentation for my FIP 224 class. Today what we're going to talk about and what I'm going to teach is about firefighters' PPE, which is their personal protective equipment, and then also their SCBA, which is their self-containing breathing apparatus, which is how they breathe in an IDLH or inside of a burning house. To begin though, I'll give a little bit of background on myself. I'm 22 years old. I was born and raised in Charlotte. I went to and graduated from Olympic High School. After that, I enrolled in the CPC program, and that's what I'm currently enrolled in. To go back and kind of give a little bit about my fire experience. I started off volunteering with Still Creek Volunteer Fire Department when I was 14. I became a voted-in member there when I was 18, and been with them since. After I graduated high school, I went down to Cleveland Community College to their fire academy. They have a 2-month program where you kind of stay at a station local, and I got my Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, my North Carolina RIT, and a couple other certifications from down there. After that, I came back and I got my EMT certificate, and then started working part-time at Still Creek. And from there, after that, I got hired through with the Charlotte Fire Department, and I've been working with them since about March 2015, so I've been on about 2 years, coming up on 3 in a couple months. A little bit more on my background is my dad. He's been a firefighter his whole life. He worked for Charlotte for 30 years, and also been with Still Creek for 30 plus years as a volunteer. And then my brother, my dad's retired, but then I also have a brother on now. He's been with Charlotte for about 8 or 9 years, and that's what kind of got me started in the fire service. So that's a little bit about me. We'll move on now, and we'll talk about the 5 main objectives I want you to learn or take away from today's lesson. The 5 objectives is I want you to be able to identify PPE in each part of it, from the hood, mask, gloves. I'm going to teach you it all. Teach you how to put on the fire gear. After that, you'll also learn about the 3 layers of the gear. And then from there, once we learn all that, next part will be teaching you about the SCBA and all its parts and components, and how to use the SCBA, put it on, and then also put on all the fire gear PPE and use it with the SCBA. So that's going to be the main parts of today. So that's what I'm going to be teaching. That's what I'm going to get started with now. And we're going to start off talking about the PPE. Like I said, there's 3 different PowerPoints to go off of that are created. And we're going to start with the one that's personal protective equipment. So starting off, we're going to talk about our helmets, which you can see I have mine right here. This is the one I wear with Still Creek. Most of them are usually black, but they can come in different colors. Sometimes different colors represent different ranks. So red or like a white helmet, maybe captain or chief or lieutenant, just depending on where you're at. Every department's different nationwide. A lot of similar things you see is they sometimes have some type of eye protection, which most people don't use, but it's still there. Some type of golden eagle or golden plate right here. Can be diamond plate. People mix up and make their helmets how they want. And then their shield, which my shield, as you can see, says Still Creek Fire Department, and it's got number 20, which is my number with that department. It's got a chin strap, got a little throw-down hood, and then the inside. So we'll go back kind of to the helmet. It has a hard outer shell, and what that does, it protects my head from any falling objects. So when you're in a fire and there's a lot of water being flown or anything and the house is burning, there's always the possibility of stuff falling down from the roof, whether it's trusses, the ceiling, anything like that. So you want to have your head protected. That's what this does. It's kind of made of a little bit of energy absorbing material. Most of them are made out of leather. Some are made out of different material. Could be some type of plastic or anything like that. but it's always hard outer shell to protect you. As you can see in mine, it has a little bit of a suspension system. It may be hard to see, but what that does is that also helps with the something falling and hitting your head. It's got a suspension system to make the hit a little easier. Also, what it's good at repelling water from your head and neck. So when I put this on and say there's water falling down, rather than water falling down and getting in my coat from here around my neck, the helmet's kind of designed to catch water and let it run off the back. That's why you kind of see my hood bent. Some people bend their hood or the back of their helmet up. It's just preference, but either way, the water's going to hit and then kind of go on the side and keep it off your neck from getting inside your jacket. Helps protect from steam burns and also creates like a thermal barrier from the heat or cold. And that's also what this back flap here is for. If I keep this tuck, it's not doing anything for me. When I have this out, and I'll show you real quick when I throw this on. When I throw my helmet on, when I have this on or have this down, this is protecting the rest of my neck. And that's what I need. That's a good thing. Another little piece on here is a chin strap. Chin straps can be leather. You can customize them how you want. Always have to have some type of buckle, and you always want to keep it buckled if it's on your head and you're going to be actively using it. Because if I don't buckle that thing and I bend over for something and it falls off, I have to put it back on and just keep fighting myself over it. But that's all about the helmet, and we'll get back to that later when it comes to teaching about putting the gear on. So we'll move on from the helmet. We'll go to our hood next. Which the hood is something you kind of put on first. As you can see, it's got a little hole for your face. The bib is extra long so that when you have it on and your jacket goes over it, it keeps it down. These are usually made out of some type of flame resistant material like Nomex or PBI. It just depends where you buy it from. Like I said, it covers all your neck, all your face, and everything, or covers your neck, all of your head except for your face right here. Which I'll throw it on and show you what I'm talking about. Most people throw it on, pull it down a little bit, and then I can pull it back up. You see the bib hangs down low, like I said, for the jacket to hold it down, and then you just see my face. That goes over my mask once we get to that part, but then under my helmet. And so that keeps all my head and everything protected. And then along with the helmet, I have another extra barrier for the back right there. So that's the helmet and the hood. Now we're going to talk about the turnout coat. Which you can see mine is right here. So, like I said, this is my gear from Steel Creek, so you can tell it's Steel Creek Fire Department. On the back, too, down low, it's got my name, J.C. Harden. Most of them come with the name on it and stuff like that. Our color, we've always had black gear. At Charlotte, we got tan gear. It's just whatever the department prefers and how they pick it. Start off with the jacket, though. We're going to talk about its 3 layers, and that's one of our main points I talked about we're going to learn today. And what I'll do is I'll kind of break the coat open to show you the 3 layers. So the first layer, though, is this outer layer. It's what you see actually from people, or on the outside when a firefighter has their gear on. As you can see, kind of a rough material. It's not hard or like stiff, but it's made to be kind of cut resistant and water resistant. As you can see, it's got the fluorescent kind of patches around it, fluorescent light or fluorescent pattern around it. This is just so at night or in a fire it may be easier to see me or see another firefighter. You're not going to see the black gear, but you may see this kind of light up depending on how it goes. But this is meant to kind of keep you from getting cut or anything like that, and also water repellent material, trying to prevent water from getting through it and then all the way inside to your skin. The second layer is going to be between the third layer and the first layer. So first layer, the outer layer. The second layer is right here, which I can't break it anymore, but the second and third layer are attached, as you can see what I'm pulling apart. With this second layer, it's a little more flexible, but this is the moisture barrier. As you can see, it's kind of got like a plastic material right here, and then on the inside of that, it's kind of a more cloth material. But this moisture barrier is supposed to prevent moisture from getting through and into your skin. So you already have one layer, protect from mainly cuts and things like that, and water from coming in. If some water does pass through, it's going to hit this, get caught here, and hopefully the moisture barrier is going to catch it and stop it. And that's what that's supposed to do. Moving on down to the third layer, which is your thermal barrier. This is supposed to help with like it being hot in a fire and keeping you cool. I know that sounds a little funny, but that's what its purpose is. It's a multi-layered pattern, so you can see it's multi-layered. It's kind of a little thicker than the second layer, but it's supposed to help insulate the body from external temperatures. So if it's cold, it'll keep you warm. If it's hot, it's supposed to try and help keep you cool. And it helps us work in elevated temperatures. So you're already going to be hot if you're inside a fire or something like that, but with this, it's supposed to try and help you keep you as cool as possible so you can stay working. So those are the 3 layers, and then this is your turnout coat. So I'm going to pop this together real quick again. And to finish off with the coat, some things I didn't show you yet. On the outside, there's that fluorescent, like I talked about, but there's also usually pockets on the jacket. So as you can see right here, there's pockets. I can throw tools and keep tools in. Like right here, I got a screwdriver that I keep in there. The jacket, when you close it, you stick your arms through. It's got a zipper that you zip first. And after you do the zipper, there's Velcro that goes across to protect that. And I'll show you that later when I put it on. It's got a little radio holder, or if I choose to use this for something else, has more tools. Got 2 little things over here to keep my mic or something I want to keep hooked on here, and my power tag. But that's pretty much mostly about the coat. Moving on from the coat, we're going to talk about our pants now. So I'm going to pull these apart real quick. You usually keep your boots and pants together, but for this video I'm going to pull them apart so I can show you just the pants and talk about them a little bit. So just like the turnout coat, our bunker pants or turnout pants have the same type of barriers. It's got the 3 barriers. Try to open up inside and break right here. It's got the same thing. It's got the outer, the moisture, and then the third barrier, the thermal barrier. So it's the exact same thing I just talked about. What's different with the turnout coat is a lot of times you're going to be, if it's dark and you can't see, you're going to be down on your knees and you won't be able to see. So it has extra padding at the knees, which if you can tell the different fabric from here to here, it's got an extra pad for you. And then at the ankles too, it's kind of got a little extra padding. It's a little more rugged too, because that once you pull this down over your boots, you don't want it sliding up, and that helps prevent it from sliding up. With the pants, it's kind of the same thing. Rather than a zipper, it can have a zipper here. This one has Velcro and then a buckle. Sometimes it'll be a zipper and a buckle. It just depends. There's usually 2 ways to lock it though. It even has also a button right here to go with it. Along with the pants, it's got pockets on the sides if you want to keep stuff. And then also pants have suspenders, so that when I put these on, since these are kind of heavier pair of pants, I can put these over my shoulder and it'll help keep the pants up real well. Moving on from there, we'll talk about our boots, which I got a kind of old pair of boots, but they still make do. Your boots can be rubber or leather. So I have a pair of old leather boots I've had for a while. You can kind of tell they're worn down and not as good, but that's all right. The outer layer of the boots are meant to protect from cuts, punctures, and things like that. They're also flame resistant. Try and keep your foot safe. and they have a metal toe. So if something falls and smashes your toes, you'll be alright. As you can tell, mine are worn down, so they're cracked or shaved a little, but it's doing its job by keeping me safe and never giving any problems. Another thing is for the sole. The sole is pretty sturdy. They're kind of puncture resistant, and you kind of see it's a big sole and a big bottom here because they're a slip resistant design. You're gonna be walking in water a lot, so when you're in there and say it's a wooden floor and it's water's everywhere, it kind of helps better than, you know, if you were in a regular pair of tennis shoes in there walking around. Helps prevent you from slipping. Next, what we'll go to is the gloves, which there are plenty of different kind of gloves out there. But gloves, kind of the purpose of the gloves is to give you adequate protection for your hands, but also dexterity. Even though you have these thick gloves on and you're in there, there's a lot of times where you may have to use dexterity to grab a tool out your pocket to cut something. You're grabbing the hose, you're opening and cutting the nozzle. Say there's a down firefighter and you're having to switch something on his mask or package him up. You still need good dexterity. I usually keep mine wrapped up and keep mine on the side of my pants. Other things about them, just like everything else we kind of have, it's resistant to heat. Supposed to be kind of cut resistant so that little things won't cut you. And then on the inside, just like kind of like our jacket and pants, there's like a thermal barrier to prevent you from getting burned. And it does a really good job with that. Another thing for the gloves is it has wristlets, which these protect the skin around your wrist. So when I put one of these on, even though I have my jacket on, if this didn't have a wristlet, then it wouldn't protect me too well. It'd still get burned. With this wristlet, as you can tell, I pull on. It's going to help prevent from anything getting there. It'll combine with my jacket. When my jacket's on, my jacket comes about down here. Protects my whole body in one, kind of working in one piece. And that's about all for the gloves. Moving on from that, we'll talk about our mask. So our mask or face piece, this is what provides the oxygen air, or delivers the breathing air from our tank into here. As you can tell, there's like the clear face piece, so you can look out of. From that, it's kind of like a plastic outer edge, and then the inside is kind of got like rubber around. What this is for, and what you can tell in here, right there, that's like the nose piece, and then here's like here's the chin cup, and both of those work together to help keep a good seal, but also prevent fogging. So when I put this on, I'm sitting there breathing, it can fog up easy. With this nose piece, that helps prevent that from happening so easy. And also with that, the chin cup, like I said, when I have this mask on and I pull these straps on the net and I keep it tight and I'll check it, I want the seal around my whole face to be tight and no air leaks. So I know that I'm not losing air when I breathe and I'm not breathing anything in bad from the outside. And now that's all of just the fire gear, including your mask. Now what we'll do is I'll go over on how to put on all the fire gear together, and I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to do that myself in the video. So what I always start with, which is this is the most kind of effective or efficient way. There's a few ways you can modify it, but most of the time it's kind of everyone does the same pieces. Or there's only really one way you can kind of change it, but most people always start with their boots and pants, which I'm going to throw these boots back in. And what I do is, as you see, I put the left foot on the left leg, but I pull down and I pull the boot out where you see it like this. It's my boot, the pants are pulled down and scrunched down, but then the hole for my foot's out. I'm going to do that with both sides real quick. So boom, I got that. So I got both my boots. I got the holes of the boots up top, and the pants are scrunched around. So it's maybe hard to see, but I'll change the angle of the video real quick. Try and help out. What I'm gonna do pretty much is I take my pants, they'll be on the ground. If I'm sitting in the truck, I'll kind of be sitting down. I'll take one leg, stick it in, I'll take the other to stick in. I'll pull my boots up good. After that, next part is I'm pulling these pants up around my waist. Once I get that, I'll do the Velcro button if I want to. And I'll at least do the Velcro and the buckle. I can also do the button. And then I'll throw my hood on actually. And I'll put this back out. Hold up. I'll throw my hood on. I'll check that it's right. Then I'll pull it down. Then I'll throw these suspenders up. The reason I do it like that is so sometimes hoods will stick out a little bit. So the suspenders is another way to keep your hood down and on you. After I do that, I'll grab my jacket. Doesn't matter if you throw it around you, if you face it and throw it up your back. Do whatever's comfortable and what you think is the best way for you. You'll stick your hands through your sleeves and stick them all the way out. I got these little thumb loops that keeps the jacket from sliding back too much. I'll make sure my hood's under my jacket, which it should be, and then I'll zip up the jacket. Now after I zip up the jacket, I'll Velcro it up, and that's about most of my fire gear on, as you can tell. And the next piece that I usually do is, since we're just doing gears, I'll do my mask. Now once I do my mask and I get the seal right and I tighten it, I'll check it. I'll do my helmet next and then my gloves. And I'll show you that real quick. So I usually leave my straps a little tight. But I got that on. I leave it tight just to pull that one strap. I check my seal, that's good. What I would do next actually is my hood before my helmet. I pull this up, it goes around everything, and I can pull it over my mask, but I usually don't like that. I like to be able to have as much vision as I can, even though it is limited. But around the mask, behind the black plastic part, you can hook it. I'll take my helmet, throw my helmet on. It sits on my head pretty well. Take my buckle, make sure it's right. I'll buckle my helmet, get that right, and then I'll throw on my gloves. Which can be difficult. So that's all that. Get it off, I pretty much just go back on my order. And now the reason I do the gloves last is so that I can use my hands. Although it's good to learn with your gloves, putting a lot of stuff on, I'd rather use just my hands to get everything right, and then my gloves, because with that limited dexterity, even though these gloves are pretty good for me, I can still struggle to put my mask on and buckle my helmet and do all the little stuff if I got the gloves on. So that's why I do gloves last. But that's all the pieces of the gear, and that's how you put on all the fire gear. Now I'm going to slide these off, and we're going to move on to the air pack. I'll slide this stuff out of the way. What I'll do is I'll bring my air pack over here, and I'll talk to you about this now and a little bit about it. So the air pack is the way that we breathe when we're in the IDLH or a bad environment. IDLH stands for immediately dangerous to life and health. So that could be anything from smoke being in one room, chemicals, things like that. If it's dangerous to us breathing, we're going to wear an air pack. So air pack components. What you see is it got the metal frame that I'm touching right here. It's got straps and harnesses to help keep it on you. It's got an air cylinder, and on the side here it's got something for being able to connect to other firefighters to breathe and share your air. And on this side it's got a rope bag, which is used as like an emergency rope or anything you can think of if you're inside a fire and need to do something. To talk about it though, we'll start with the air bottle. As you can see, it's already hooked up and connected. So I'll disconnect it real quick and show you. These are two separate things, so you can take off one air bottle or air cylinder and then swap them so that you have a fresh bottle. These are usually rated for 2200 psi to 5500. It depends on the brand and what kind, and depending on the psi of what I just stated, it's either a 30-minute bottle or a 45-minute bottle. And now that doesn't exactly mean that you're going to be able to use this for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. It's just a rating it's given for working. You should get a decent amount of time from it. The only way to really know is to practice, is to test it, which many people do, and I've had the opportunity to do before. But okay, it doesn't want to come off. There we go. Alright, so this is air cylinder. Like I told you, has different PSIs. It's rated differently. Can be made out of different things: steel, aluminum, composite. I think most nowadays are composite, or at least around here. But you know, we got our sticker on it and whatnot. Every so many years they have to be tested, making sure they're still good in use. I'm down here. This is kind of the head of the cylinder. It's got a gauge to tell you how much air is in it, which we're full at 45. It's got the little piece sticking out right here, which connects to the air pack itself. It's got the knob to open it and a little bracket to help keep it tight on the air pack. So while it's on the air pack, or since it's off the air pack, we'll take a look at this. And to start with the air pack, like I told you, there's a metal frame or some type of frame that keeps everything together and solid. There's two shoulder straps, one for your left arm, one for your right, and they have two adjustable straps so you can pull down for tightness when it's on you. And then same thing, there's a waist at the waist. It's like a seat belt. You'll buckle it up around you. And then you have those straps you can pull tight to keep it tight on you. Moving on from that, where the air connects right here with the regulator, this comes into the air bottle is high pressure. And so when it comes through here and goes down, this little box right here regulates it and turns it into low pressure so that you can get oxygen fine. Other pieces of the air pack, like it's talking about the regulator, this is also considered your regulator. And what it has is, this is where the air comes out. When I'm hooked up breathing, it's a positive pressure environment. When I suck in, it makes it positive down to negative, and that's when air is allowed to come in, and that's how you get your fresh air. Also has a red dual path button right here, or knob. I can turn this to open, and that'll give me air, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that's mostly about all the air pack. What I'll do now is I'm gonna throw it back together. I'm gonna slide this bottle in here. So I hook it up at the clip, the regulator. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna screw back on. If I'm able to show you, I will. Can be difficult sometimes. You kind of gotta line it up just perfect for it to go. takes a second. But once you got it tight, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn it on. But right before I turn it on, there's also a device on here called the PASS device, the Personal Alert Safety System, and that's mandatory on all air packs now. And what it is it can be activated manually or on its own. If I don't move for 15 seconds or 30 seconds, this starts beeping, and then that indicates me to, hey, move or cut it off. At 45 seconds, it goes into like a second alarm, and at 1 minute, it goes off full alarm, and you have to manually control it hitting this yellow button. If I want to manually start it, I just hit the red button on the front. But this is so if it's a down firefighter, this will go off on its own, and it will help the rescuers locate him quicker. So what I'll do now is back here, I'm going to turn the air pack on. You pop this, keeps the air from going out. Now, something that I can show you now is these lights are glowing or lit up. That's just telling me how much air is in my bottle. So the 4 bars like that, and the 2, or at least having the 2 green lights, the bottle's full. If it's 1 green light, it's 3/4. And there's an example of my PASS device going off right now. So I just shake the bottle to keep it quiet. There's the 2 green lights. One is 3/4, like I said. Yellow and flashing yellow is half. Then, or yellow is half. Flashing yellow and red is 1/4, and then getting to where you need air, you need to get out of the building. I can also look like here where my PASS device is, and it tells me how full my bottle is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go full alarm real quick, and I'm going to cut it off. So that's the PASS device like I was talking about. Now what I'll do is show you breathing air. So now since you kind of know a little bit about the bottle, the pieces, you hook it up, attach the cylinder, everything's good. You open up the bottle, you got the pack on. Now what you would do next is take your mask and throw on. Pull it tight all around. Check your seal. And what I mean by that is I put my hand over and breathe in. If my mask sucks to my face, then I know the seal is tight. And what I'll do now is I'll take this with the red part up, and I'm going to turn it and lock it in. And that's all to it for breathing air. Now, when I'm a firefighter getting ready in the truck, what I do is I put all my gear on like I showed you earlier. Then I'll take this and I'll throw it on, and it'll be around my back on the outside of my coat. I reach back and open the bottle or cut it on if I need to. I'll reach back myself, cut it on, and then I'm good to go. Or I keep it off. I just get all the straps right. Once the straps are right, then whenever we get where we're going, I can jump off the truck. If I need to turn the bottle on, I can reach back myself to cut it on and use it. Or like I said, if we don't need it, then I just won't mess with it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it off. I cut the cylinder off at the source. I bled the air. And then now I'm going to double click that just to reset the system. And so, that is all you need to know for the firefighters PPE and the firefighters SCBA. So, what I went over today is I showed you all pieces of a fire gear. I broke it down to the 3 layers of the gear, which mainly affects the turnout coat and the turnout pants. Showed you how to put on all of the gear. After that, I showed you an air pack, took the cylinder off, talked about each little piece on the air pack, put the cylinder on, attached it, turned it on. I put my mask on and showed you how to hook on to breathe air. And like what I just talked about at the end, you do the exact same thing in the truck on the way to a call or at the station. You put all your gear on, your boots, pants, pull everything up, hood, jacket. I do my mask sometimes. I guess the key little point is I wouldn't do my mask in the truck. I'd hook it to my air pack, and then if we get to the call and it's working fire, or there is fire somewhere and we have to go inside a burning building, I'll get to the door, then I'll put my mask on and finish my helmet and everything else. But today I at least showed you how to put the gear on, what each piece is used for, and the air pack, each piece on that, and how to use it. And then to use it together, you throw your gear on, you take the air pack, you put it on your back, how I showed you, and do everything like that. That's going to be the conclusion of my video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.